This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Are you overwhelmed, confused, and maybe stressed out about everything going on in the world right now? Are you maybe even going to apathy, feeling a little hopeless or alone? Or maybe you are really concerned about things politically or in the realm of health and economics and everything going on. Well, if you are overwhelmed and confused, you definitely want to listen to this podcast. Welcome to the Dr. Erin podcast. We come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We truly know and believe that when somebody awakens, they have a gift and message to bring to the world, and together we're awakening the world. So this is Dr. Erin, Dr. Divinity, training and developing world-renowned spiritual leaders. We train and develop spiritual coaches in the E4 trauma method. We train and develop spiritual practitioners, and we're just opening up the ministerial program and the Doctor of Divinity program. So I'm so excited. But today, heavy on my heart, I want to talk about what's going on in the world and how to deal with feeling overwhelmed, confused, and stressed out about everything going on, whether it be that you're in the polarization of the jab or not the jab, the COVID, everything going on with that, or politically, all the discord going on around that, the economical inflation and just the decrease in dollar and all the different economical things going on. Global warming, everything that's having so much fear happening, whether you're dealing with feeling like it's Groundhog's Day or whether you're dealing with codependency in the middle of everything flaring up from the discord of everything happening in the world, or whether you are, even thinking suicidal thoughts, please call and get help. Okay. Whether you are feeling lonely or whether you are having health issues or whether you really truly are afraid of COVID still or the jab or whatever's happening, I want to handle this right here, right now. That is my promise. And that is my commitment for you to fully listen to this podcast and walk away with a newfound truth and something to know through all this that is unshakable, that is unstoppable, and that is untouchable. So let's go. So last night, I went to a friend's launch party for her book. She has a new beautiful book up on manifestation, on meditation, and it was at a place called Unplug here in Los Angeles. And I go into this beautiful little place, and there's a lot of big influencers you'd probably know online, spiritually based influencers there. And it's a very intimate, beautiful, beautiful event. And right before my friend was going to begin her talk and meditation, someone came in and said, hey, please turn off your phones or hand us your phones and we'll plug them in so that they're not in here. And as I looked down to my phone, I had a group text from my family. My nephew is actually in the hospital. And what has happened is he's young. He's 24 years old or something like that. He's 23 or 24. And he went in for pneumonia. He got pneumonia very fast and had to go in the emergency via an ambulance. And they finally submitted him. It's been almost a week now. He's been in there. And they first were just, giving him IVs and watching his stats. And they were finding that there was something in his right lung, at the lower lung. And they actually thought maybe it was cancer. And they were going to do a biopsy on Monday after the weekend. And then the text came in right before I was going into this meditation. And then the text was, hey, they're not waiting till Monday. They don't think it's cancer anymore. They actually, the mass has been moving. And we now are looking at having to go in with an arm, put him under, completely under, put an arm into his lung and biopsy, and also maybe take off a portion of his lung. And everyone's very concerned, of course, but the doctors are like, why would this young boy be having these health issues and what's really going on? Is it mold? Is it an immune system going on? What's happening, right? So everyone's very concerned about it. And of course, there's family members that are concerned because he's had the vaccine. There's other family members that are like completely triggered by even that concept. There's kind of polarity happening in the family. There are doctors involved, there's whatever, but everyone's holding love in their heart. So I begin to go into, obviously I turn off my phone, give it away. And I go into this meditation, and I'm in the meditation, and she's doing a guided meditation, which is so beautiful, but I go deep. I'm out. I'm not in that room anymore. And I'm in consciousness with my nephew. And I'm holding him in my heart. And I say, Blake, is there something that you want me to know in consciousness? And he says, life is fucked. It's fucked up. Life is fucked. And we're having this consciousness, this conversation consciousness. I said, well, we know that everything outpictures from beliefs. And I know that this is something that you can choose to see life as miraculous as well. And you have the choice. And it's okay regardless, because I know you're not your body. And I know the perfection of health. And this is what we teach, right? And he looks at me, and he has this look of like kind of fuck life. And we just sat there and we hugged. And my son came in, and the rest of the family came into my meditation, and we were, people were crying and everyone was hugging. And I left that meditation with everyone knowing myself in consciousness, but the freedom of choice. And the freedom of choice that I truly believe that we choose this life. We choose our parents. We choose our name. We choose when we leave this planet from a collective consciousness, because we're not just the individual consciousness. We're collective and we're cosmic. And so as I opened my eyes back up, and the whole group in this room was finishing a beautiful guided meditation, and I had some tears going down my eyes of joy, of just the beautiful aspect of life, knowing that life is a masterclass. Life is not supposed to be easy. Life is supposed to be the dark, the light, the joy, the suffering, everything. In order to love life, we have to love all of it. And we have to understand that it's all working for us and not against us. But so then we all took pictures, gave hugs at the event last night. And I came home and did another little prayer. And I'm just sending love to my nephew, knowing that he is powerful. He's a divine, powerful spiritual being. He's held by great doctors and experts also. And knowing that, whatever is going to be revealed within the world will be revealed with what's going on in the world. So this is the point. The point is that right now, it's easy to feel like life is fucked up. It's easy to look at the world, and whether you are on, there's such polarity right now. There's polarity. You're either pro-vaccine or you're anti-vax, and then everyone's making everyone wrong. I've seen posts on social media where every one of the comments is pro-vaccine, and they're talking so poorly about anybody that hasn't been vaccinated, and how stupid and how selfish and how awful people are. And then I've seen posts that are all anti-vaccine of people saying, hey, I've seen more people die or have issues from the vaccine than COVID, and blah, 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 and all. It's like so polarized. And the point is that there's one point I want to make today. There is one point. The point is this, is that no matter what is going on, no matter if you are being overwhelmed by the polarization from the jab or not the jab, whether you are scared about what's happening politically, whether you are concerned about the massive inflation and the dollar and everything going down, whether you are concerned about global warming, whether you are dealing with codependency, because that is coming up. Seems like every one of my friends is dealing with codependency. I'm so grateful to be healed from that. Or whether you're dealing with addiction, or whether you're dealing with feeling so lonely and questioning life, whether you're questioning, should I move? Should I not move? Any of those things, and all of those things, there's only one answer. There's only one answer for my nephew. There's only one answer. And it is to go within, to go to divine, to go to the God within, to seek that home, to seek that truth. because all of life right now is demanding for us to do that. There's prophecy that a third of the population will die, a third of the population will go insane, and a third of the population will wake up. The truth is the only people that are going to survive the insanity that's going to go down on this planet are people that are so tapped into source that this is how life is working for us, not against us. That really calls upon the divine intervention. And I know the divine intervention for my nephew right now. I know that if he chooses to tap into that source and chooses to tap into that glory and chooses to tap into that is what has patients, thrive. And they've even shown this in stats in the medical field, that if people don't have hope, it doesn't work out, right? If they don't believe, it doesn't work out. We have to go within. That is the destination. Emmett Fox, who was a great leader in the New Thought movement, said, if you could only love enough, you could be the most powerful person in the world. So I want to invite us on that journey of what would it look like to love so profoundly. What if when you went on those posts on Instagram or Facebook, that you shared love for all people, not just your one pro or con jab? What if you loved so much that you had compassion for people of whatever viewpoint they're in? What if you loved so much that you only loved? What if you could be the most powerful person in the world? And so we have to remember the truth, metaphysical truth. We have to understand that universal law and metaphysics are one. It's the backing of all energy. It is that which is the creative factor, as Thomas Troward so eloquently teaches. That what we focus on collectively expands. So if the media and the news is focusing on all things that are bad, wrong, the division, the divisive, the deaths, the this, the that, all that we're only looking at what is wrong. We have to understand that even with COVID, right? And I am absolutely pro all Western medicine and Eastern medicine and spirituality. I truly believe that when we combine those three, we would have the best medical system in the world. But if we look at the amount of influenza versus COVID, there's no difference. And why is it that now that everything's being focused on, right? So what we collectively focus on expands. So if you sit all day and you watch news, it's not going to do anything other than get you in fear mode and have you more expanding in fear and more expanding on disease. If you focus on disease, it's going to expand disease. Like that is just a reality. And that doesn't mean we don't want to get educated. Okay. Universal law takes care of everything, meaning that if you're somebody that's like, look, I need to now go within, I need to find peace. I need to go to the home of the divine sacred within my heart and find peace and find inspiration. You would be so much better off than going and energizing the fear out there unless you're actually taking divine action. I understand for somebody that needs to educate themselves in the politics because they're in politics and they're actually taking action and making new policy. But if you're watching news just to energize the negativity, you're not doing anything. In fact, you're harming yourself and you're not using your energy for harmony for the world. That's just straight up metaphysics. That's just straight up universal law. If you're using universal law, takes care of itself. So it's okay to not join the polarity. And the people who are bringing, different viewpoints to social media, if that's their divine way of bringing order and bringing truth and revealing the insanity and the lies, then all the power to them. But you need to know that you don't have to do that unless it is inspired, unless it's energizing you, unless it's really for your mission, not out of hate, not out of whatever, but it's your mission driven out of your heart to expose things for the highest good, then so be it. But if you're somebody that's just watching it and witnessing it and getting more stressed and more confused and more overwhelmed, it's not going to do any good, right? So the truth is that if we want to become unshakable, if we want to become unstoppable, if we want to become the untouchables, the Eastern like gurus believe that the people that are born of the West are untouchables because we have such freedom of choice over here. We are released from even our lineage at some level. We are released that there are masters born over here in the West. If you're listening to this podcast, I know that you've had a spiritual calling. I know that you've had a spiritual calling. And I know there's something in you that knows that what I'm saying is truth, because truth is truth. It's not me, it's truth. You know that your work to do right now is to go within. And so I'm going to invite you today to turn off social media, to turn off the news, to turn off the conversation of polarization, to stop looking at all those posts and reading all those articles and seeing how we're in Nazi Germany and all that stuff. It's time to go within. It's time to do the real work. It's time to go within until we know with such certainty that we're not our bodies, that we can't be touched by a virus or by a jab. It's time to go within and know the truth that we are capable of creating miracles on this planet with one person. It's time to go within and know the truth. Myrtle Fillmore, who began Unity, she said, keep on praying for faith. It is through prayer that you develop all your wonderful qualities of soul. And the point is, in Unity and in New Thought Movement, we don't pray to a man in the sky. We pray to get our mind right. We go within to get our mind right, to have and tap into that higher self within that has the wisdom of the universe, that has the wisdom of every great that has ever been on this planet, that has the one divine mind. And we pray for faith, meaning that faith means that whatever we set in mind, we don't need to see proof of it out here. When we hold it in consciousness, we know that it will manifest and demonstrate in form, because that's how the mental universe works. That what we hold in consciousness has to outpicture. There has to be a vibrational match in the physical realm. So if we're holding fear, we're holding angst, that is dis-ease. We will manifest dis-ease in our environment, in our culture, in our body. This is the outpicturing. Coronavirus is not one person. It's the collective that created this from our cosmic creation, from all of it. It's from the outpicturing of the divisiveness. It is for our highest good, waking us up, demanding us to wake up and come together. And the only way we'll survive as a species is to come together. And so I invite you to go within, knowing that whether you're dealing with anything out there, I've been around multiple friends that are highly aware, that are going through major codependency in their relationships right now. I would say 9 out of 10 people that are in community have dealt with codependency or are dealing or healing from it. And why? I know I went through it for years. And so the point is that it's going to, your dis-ease in your life is going to be outpicturing right now through the stress, through the overwhelm, through addiction, through loneliness, through health issues, through low energy, through codependency, through feeling like it's Groundhog's Day over and over again. So no matter, all those symptoms are symptoms and the effect of first cause, which is consciousness. And this is the deal. All of this is one thing and one thing only. If we place our power outside of thyself, we will always be disempowered. I'm going to say that again. If we place our power out to the world, out to those posts, out to the fear, out to the news, out to our relationship, out to our body, out to whatever, if we place our source of joy, of suffering, of anything out there in the world, we will instantaneously be disempowered. So the point of going within is to know the truth, to tap into that source and generate and create. You were born, you are a creator. You are here to bring your heart, your wisdom, your inspired action. And so if you're looking to the world and getting overwhelmed, that means you don't know the truth. That means you're not going to the well of wisdom. You're not going to that place within. All of life right now is demanding you to no longer look to the world. Never seek to see the world with your physical eyes. Always seek to see the world from your third eye, from that place of knowingness, from that knowingness that whatever you see is not the truth. That's faith. Faith is knowing no matter what you want to hold in your consciousness, you can create in the world. That is the unshakable. That is the untouchable. That is That is the unstoppable part of yourself. And so today, as we go into the world, where we know anytime we start getting stressed out, anytime there's polarized conversations, anytime there is anything, that is the time to go within and only seek love, be light, and take inspired action to create harmony on this planet. And so in that, I just say, there is no discord in my being. Being is peace, as Myrtle Fillmore also said. I'm just thanking all these great masters that have come before: Emmett Fox, Ernest Holmes, Thomas Short, Phineas Quimby, Myrtle Fillmore, Mary Baker Eddy, even Emily Cady, Charles Fillmore, Florence Scovel Shinn, Elizabeth Town, all these amazing, incredible teachers, Joel Goldsmith, everyone that came before in the New Thought, movement, Neville Goddard, all these incredible people, you guys, Charles Hannell. Are you kidding me? We are so much more powerful than anything going on in the world. Never forget that if you're overwhelmed, if you're confused, or if you're stressed out, that is the indicator to go within, go into meditation, go into prayer, go into that silence and know, I am God. That is the truth. You are that essence. You are that source. You are that force. You are that essence that can create miracles on this planet. You can be the greatest leader if you choose to. You can also just be a peaceful warrior. You can be whatever you are, whatever you decide in mind. That is the truth. And so on that, I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the discord. Thank you for Groundhog's Day. Thank you for all the insanity on the planet right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because without that, I would not have an even deeper wisdom and relationship with my true self. I am so grateful. Have a beautiful day, you guys. If you are called to get developed in this work, you can come to newthoughtglobal.com. You can also DM me on social media at drerin.tv, DRERIN.tv. We also have quarterly 2-day virtual retreats. We train and develop spiritual coaches with the E4 trauma method, and as master spiritual psychology coaches as well. Okay. And we also train and develop spiritual practitioners and ministers and teachers, and of course, doctors of divinity. So if you're called to this work, you can reach out and we will get you all set up. We have an incredible, incredible community, guys. Have a beautiful day and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a spiritual calling or desire to get certified as a spiritual coach or a world-renowned spiritual leader, go to newthoughtglobal.com. If you've received value from this show, I would love it if you share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, we have spiritual practitioners that are trained to deliver the E4 trauma method and assist you in birthing your truth. So let's be friends on social media. Again, my handle is drerin.tv across all social media. Have a beautiful day and may you live your truth.